Welcome to 10 Minutes of Wealth, the show that makes you smarter about money, one quick episode at a time. In just 10 minutes, we break down powerful ideas from top finance books, practical money models, and wealth-building strategies. Let's get into it. Episode 6, The Trading Game by Gary Stevenson. What if becoming rich was less about hard work and more about seeing the game for what it really is? In The Trading Game, former trader Gary Stevenson shares how he rose from a tough East London neighborhood to making millions at Citibank. But his success revealed a darker truth about money, power, and who the system really works for. Stevenson is not your typical finance author. He's a sharp, outspoken economist who walked away from a 7-figure career because he couldn't ignore what he saw. A system that rewards the few while keeping the rest stuck. In this episode, I'll walk you through the core idea behind the trading game, break down 3 powerful lessons from Gary's story, and show you how to apply them, even if you've never set foot in a trading room. The core idea of the trading game. The game is rigged, but not in the way most people think. At the heart of the trading game is this uncomfortable truth. In today's economy, the rich are not just winning, they are playing a completely different game. Gary Stevenson saw it up close. As a young trader, he realized he was not betting on markets, but on people getting poorer. And the worse things got for ordinary families, the more money he made. Inequality is not a flaw in the system, it is the system. As Stevenson puts it, if the poor get poorer, the rich get richer. And I was the rich. Key lesson number 1. Making money and creating value are not the same thing. When Gary Stevenson started trading, he thought success in finance was about being smart, working hard, and understanding the market. But he quickly realized something strange. He was making millions by betting on interest rates going down, and those rates only dropped when the economy got worse. In other words, the worse things got for ordinary people, the more money he made. His job had nothing to do with creating value or helping society. It was about predicting pain and profiting from it. This lesson flips the usual money story on its head. We're told that wealthy people earn more because they provide more value. But Stevenson's experience shows that in high finance, value creation often has nothing to do with it. The system rewards those who can take advantage of volatility, not those who make life better for others. Key lesson number 2. The economy is not broken by accident. One of the most powerful insights in the trading game is that inequality is not just an unfortunate side effect. It is part of the design. Stevenson realized that the global economy runs in a way that quietly takes money from the poor and hands it to the rich. And this is not happening by mistake. While working as a trader, he noticed a pattern. Central banks would lower interest rates to help the economy during tough times. But in reality, this mostly helped the people who already owned assets. Rich investors watched their portfolios grow, while ordinary people saw their savings shrink and their living costs rise. The system rewards ownership. If you own property, stocks, or other assets, you benefit. If you rely on wages, you lose ground. And over time, the gap gets wider. Stevenson argues that this is not just a cycle, it is a structure. And the more you understand it, the less likely you are to blame yourself for struggling. Key lesson number 3. Escaping the game starts with seeing it clearly. For a long time, Gary Stevenson believed he had won. He had made it out of a struggling neighborhood and climbed to the top of one of the world's biggest banks. But something felt off. The more he earned, the more he saw how broken the system really was. And once he understood the game, he could no longer pretend it was fair. Stevenson's story shows that real power comes from understanding the rules that shape your financial life. Most people are stuck trying to save harder, work longer, or budget better. But if the rules of the game are tilted against them, those efforts only go so far. He chose to walk away, not because he had to, but because he refused to keep playing a game that hurt the people he grew up with. His message is not to give up, but to wake up. You do not need to become a trader to understand how the world works. You just need to ask better questions and stop blaming yourself for a system you did not design. 3 questions to reflect on. So, after hearing Gary's story and these lessons, here are a few questions worth thinking about. 1. Where in your life are you following financial rules that might not actually serve you? 2. Do you believe the system is fair, or have you just learned to survive within it? And 3. What would it mean to stop playing the game and start building something on your own terms? You do not need perfect answers, just honest ones. If you like, pause this episode for a moment. Think them through, or carry them with you as you go about your day. Putting it into practice. You do not need to be a trader to learn from the trading game. Here are a few practical steps you can take, starting today. First, start paying attention to where your money actually goes. Not just your spending, but also who benefits from it. Are you building something for yourself or feeding into someone else's system? Second, try to lower your dependence on things you cannot control. That might mean reducing debt, building an emergency fund, or even learning a new skill that gives you more freedom in the long run. Third, look at ownership. Can you start putting small amounts toward things that grow in value, like index funds or a side project? Even small steps count. Fourth, question the financial advice you hear. Just because something is normal does not mean it works for everyone, especially if the rules were written by people who already won. And finally, talk about it. Share what you're learning with people around you. The more we speak honestly about money, the less power the system has to keep us stuck. Final thoughts. The trading game is raw and honest. Gary Stevenson made millions, but saw how broken the system really is, and he chose to walk away. This book is a reminder that real wealth is not about winning a rigged game. It is about understanding it and deciding how you want to live. You cannot fix the system alone, but you can start making choices that work for you, not just for the people who built the game. And maybe that is where real freedom starts. Thank you for listening. You just got smarter about money in under 10 minutes. If this episode was valuable to you, you can support us by buying a virtual coffee via the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.